世界马上就要被毁灭了，都是因为你。
So, Asura sports a collective of talent from around the world, adopting Hollywood's skills and employing Chinese ethos into a fantasy epic. Boasting talents such as Oscar winner costume designer Nina Dixon from Lord of the Rings, and VFX expert Charlie Itiaraga, who did Deadpool. And yet you have Hollywood stunt coordinator Damian Walters, who did Kingsman. Charged with bringing the new proposed trilogy is director Zhang Peng, a veteran fight choreographer who has made a name for himself in Hollywood, with a filmography consisting of Scott Pilgrim, Twilight, Kick-Ass, just to name a few. Asura follows the story of a young boy named Ruri, who begins his life as a humble sheep herder. Unknown to him, he is the brother of the Asura king, who wishes to reunite with Yuri so they can merge together, allowing him to unlock the great power within him and rule all of Asura realm. Ruri is retrieved by Asura King's right-hand man and introduced to the realm of Asura, where he will be ruling over. Ruri's arrival is attacked by the rebels led by Huarei and her team of followers, who opposes the king's rule. After meeting the Asura king, he soon realizes the king's dastardly plans, and with the help of his pumpkin sidekick, Tuka, he seeks the rebels for help in putting a stop to this rule. Asura was released on July 13th, 2018. The film immediately received a lot of negative reviews from audiences. Since July 15th, 2018, just 3 days of release, the film was pulled from cinema screens. The decision was made not by any government authorities or cinema chains, but by the very producers themselves. The producers stated that the negative press from certain individuals were deemed biased and with intentions to sabotage the reputation of the film. During its 3-day run, the film earned a measly $7 million, which is very low for a film of this caliber. As of now, the film is going through some re-editing and will be once again put back onto cinema screens at a later date. It's not surprising if you have not heard of Zhang Peng, but it's more likely you have witnessed his work as an action choreographer in Hollywood, such as Hellboy 2, Ant-Man, and 47 Ronins. Asura is Peng's first directional debut, and he demonstrates great use of spectacle, but little finesse in pacing and performances. Deaths lack conviction and is almost inconsequential, as we care little for the character or the emotional baggage that is supposed to come with it. The opening alone has 2 major deaths that barely register, for the characters are never set up enough for audience to care. The death of a particular rebel at the beginning is so uneventful it's just laughable. We don't even see the face of the character that dies, just a body falling to its death. The Asura King is one note, with very little characterization. It's almost cartoon-like. The multiple heads that makes the whole of Asura King is utilized in the mundane way and almost feels like a gimmick. About 141 minutes, it's way too long to sit through with nothing really developing into anything engaging. The midsection sags as action set pieces take a back seat and the drama is placed in the forefront, with overlong expositions and an undercooked romance. Leung and Yishang have little chemistry and their love for one another just happens, opposed to built towards. The other important romance between the Tuka character and Chia character offers little emotional payoff, as they have very little screen time together. Names are given to much of the background characters, but you'll be hard-pressed to remember who is who, as they have little to do other than to participate in fights and languish in the background. Performance all around is pretty poor, even from the veterans. Leo Wu, who does the carefree and happy very well, but drops the ball once he has to emote rage or sadness. His emotional monologue never fully convincing. Newcomer Yishang lacks conviction as the badass warrior and the leader, as well as sporting very little facial expressions. Production design is fantastic, with great elaborate sets matched with great cinematography. Much of the film draws inspiration from The Lord of the Rings, with sets feeling organic and inhabitants of different varieties feeling natural. Sadly, the Asura realm created feels too unpopulated and undeveloped for audience to really care for the citizens. Visual effects by and large is top notch, with occasional dips in quality here and there. More often is the background plates not matching with the character. Creature design is great, but sadly execution is not always matched. In Asura, the horse's head is a creature of its own, and as our soldiers ride said horses, the head takes flight as a winged creature. The idea is sound, but when we witness the transition, it does not quite feel natural. With so much going on, the film tries to cater to all audiences, resulting in half-baked scenarios. Collaborating with Zhang Peng is regular cohorts Damien Walters and Shang, who worked on Hellboy 2. They crafted some fantastic set pieces, but sadly in most occasions there's some minor things hindering exceptional fight choreography. The opening fight scene takes place on two mountaintops linked together by rope bridges. Though it's really hard to decipher the information and geography for the lighting is way too dark, which obscures much on display. The occasional moment that we do see it, it becomes a great showcase of great fight choreography and acrobatic display. Following this is an aerial and ground battle that fluctuates between entertaining and frustrating. For the aerial battle, the combatants are connected by a CGI creature that allows them flight, but most of the time these CGI creatures obscure the view of what the live action talents are performing, so mostly it looks like clashes of CGI creatures opposed to carefully orchestrated fights. Cutting between the aerial fight is the ground battle, which provides some impressive stunt work and wire work mixed with some interesting fight choreography. The best set piece of the film is the fight between the narrow cliff faces, featuring a remarkable display of acrobatic movements between the rock faces mixed with some extraordinary stunt work. The only quip about this is that there is so much going on it can be rather chaotic on screen, making it difficult to focus on the central action. Just like every other CGI fantasy film from China, Asura's finale is an orgy of CGI with little fighting involved. The impressive team that Asura has assembled has paid off from a visual standpoint, sporting some great cinematography, impressive production design, intricate fight choreography, and top-notch visuals. But sadly, story and pacing are all neglected in the process, resulting in a subpar film. It will be intriguing to see what the announced new re-edited version will be like. Some streamlining and cutting of the excessive fat is definitely necessary.